All right, guys, here's the deal. Okay, today is Wednesday, and I don't want you thinking for 1 second that we're not getting back to work on the Onyx Off-Road bus that we have dubbed the Cool Bus. Okay, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Onyx Off-Road, for sponsoring this video, and I want to talk to you guys about what we are gonna do with this bus. This is gonna be the new Drive the USA Cool Bus that Onyx Off-Road is gonna take to events. Now, with that, we're gonna be putting your name on it. So I want you, if you haven't already, head over to Onyx Off-Road, get yourself the Onyx Off-Road map on your phone. Onyx Off-Road keeps you safe. That's what this is about. When you're out recreating in the mountains, Onyx Off-Road has all the trails mapped out in blue so that you know where you can recreate safely. Now, if you're gonna be going in the mountains and you don't have service, Onyx Off-Road offers offline maps. Make sure you download the offline map before you're in the mountains, before you're recreating, before you're in trouble. A couple months ago, my good friend Owen got himself in the West Mountains, got lost. Luckily, he was able to get a hold of me. He sent me an Onyx Off-Road offline map in one little spot where he grabbed some service, and I was able to send search and rescue, and we were able to go up there and save him because of Onyx Off-Road. So make sure you guys download the Onyx Off-Road map right now and get your name on the bus. Now, if I haven't told you already, Onyx Off-Road is gonna be wrapping this cool bus, and they're gonna be adding names just like we did on my truck. So if you wanna be on the Onyx Cool Bus, make sure you click the link in the description, get you your Onyx membership today, and get your name on the bus. Now, let's get into the video because we have LS Fest coming and we're not even close to being done. We got a treat for you today. It's called a Wednesday Pacer Special. Because we're running out of days to work on stuff, so we have to put off the bus. So we're working on the Pacer again. Today's Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Here's your host, Hillbilly. Hillbilly?
Hi!
And what Hillbilly's gonna do and tell you guys about is the rear end housing that we got from Powder Extreme Coatings, and it is pink. He's gonna assemble the housing. We're gonna get the control arms in, and we've also made a decision, and I know you're gonna be mad because I'm mad about it. We're not painting it for Texas. We're gonna bring it back, and we're gonna paint it after.
Why?
I don't wanna talk to you.
But I don't want to be your host.
Should we fire the host? Good idea. All right, I'm fired. Sorry, Hillbilly fired me, so I'm out of here.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
I'm not here. All right, so your host was gonna tell you guys about the quick performance rear end that he was gonna, or the quick performance third member he was gonna go pick up that we had built. It's got 350 gears and a posi-track system. And it's got a nodular steel, I think that's what it's called, yoke. So what Hillbilly's gonna do while he's hosting is he's gonna explain everything he's gonna do. And he's gonna put the rear end together. But before he can put that in the housing, he has to clean the housing because the housing has sand in it. Now just
golden nugget all over again.
Yeah, just go ahead and say all that, and you'll be a great host.
That quick performance third member is not the lightest thing in the world.
I carried it over there.
It's not the lightest thing in the world. I'll tell you that much right now. So it should hold up to 1,000 horsepower. Gotta clean out the housing of the sand because we don't need that sand getting into the bearings and causing a headache. Gotta get the tape residue off the mating surface for the third member and the outer surfaces. I don't want to spray nothing on there direct because I don't want to take chances of it peeling up the powder coat, so I'm just going to be spraying towels and wiping. And that's not taking it off, but I know what will. This will.
All right, even though I'm not here, I'm building transmission cooler lines. So I'm just figuring out my fittings. Over here in my parts store, thank you, Holly Performance, for hooking us up. Summit Racing, you guys, without you two, would be nothing. Actually, would be even more broke. But anyway, so I've got my straight Mr. Gasket fitting ends. I'm gonna put these on the cooler, and then we're gonna start laying out the -6 line and see where we need to cut it.
All cleaned up and ready to put the gasket on there and the third member put in. Okay, in order to attach the third member to the quick performance, third member to the quick performance axle, I have to install these studs into there. Tighten a nut down on there and suck them in. They are splined to help hold them in place so they don't fall out, and when you're tightening them, they don't twist and spin on you. And then you just... Okay, I'll just go through and install the rest of them. Okay, I got them all installed, so I'm gonna vacuum this out real fast and then put the gasket on and then put the third member in. They are directional. Gotta make sure we have it the right direction, which I do.
Don't get your finger.
Got the lock nuts, gonna put them on there and snug it up.
So we've got our transmission cooler lines built. I used some tape just so I could get my lengths equalized where I want them. So Colton's gonna hurry and install them. And I think that's all we need to do for that cooler. We still gotta wire it, but one step closer. One thing we did realize is in my parts store that I've got, somehow I didn't order any dash 1690 degree fittings. So we just overnighted some from Japan. They'll be here tomorrow. It's actually from Summit Racing in Akron, Ohio. They're the best. Anyway, so that stuff will be here tomorrow, overnighted. And it's only $33 to overnight from Japan. Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
So crazy. So we'll have those, then we can get the water lines ran. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Guess who's gonna be here on Friday? I'll give you a guess. I mean, drop your comments, let us know, but it's gonna be Chad. Chad's gonna be here. There you go. So this is our Holly tank that we got. We're modifying it. We took out, there was some foam inside, so we ripped it all out, we modified this. Our tube is gonna go through here, that's our roll cage. We cut the edge off, but we built an anti-slosh device that Sean has manipulated down inside, and he's stretched it back out and welded it. You can see right here, so he welded that. Now he's welding that into place. So what that is when our fuel pump goes down in there, that's gonna fill up with gas. And when this thing's sloshing around, it's gonna hold gas in there so we don't run out. That's called wisdom. All right, we'll let him weld now. You got it? Not really.
I don't know about you, but that looks so freaking cool.
Yeah, looks pretty dang good. All right, well, the only thing that's getting pink before Texas.
Like, I'm down to like mount a GoPro right here, just showing the rear end.
Well, no, we're gonna mount a GoPro underneath. Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
Dude, Kyle had like 10 mounted on Lucifer. All right, so Alvin American sent us some rear shocks and some front coilovers. These things are so nice. Check out the fronts. These are going to be sweet. Look at that. Anyway, Hillbilly's got to figure out how to mount these.
Just getting the CalTracs lower bracket for the U-bolts in place to hold the axle in so I can get this axle tightened down. And that'll be one less step we have to do later and one step closer to being done.
Now this is how you take inside a tank. Look at that extension. I'm already impressed. This is so hard, but we're figuring it out.
The next day.
Well, good morning. Came in a little earlier than everyone else because I have to get this rear axle completely assembled, and my goal is to have it done before 8 when Robbie gets here, so that way he can see it complete with tires on it and the CalTracs system all put on it. So I'm going to grab the axle shafts and I'll get them slid in place, and then I'll just start bolting everything up and show you guys little bits and pieces of the process. And here's the axle shafts. Got one here and one there. They are different lengths. One's 26 3/8 and the other one's 30 3/4. So the driver's side takes the shorter one, and the passenger side takes the longer one. So I'm gonna get the passenger one slid in right now, and then I'll come get the driver one, get it slid in, and then start getting all the bolts and shenanigans all bolted up. Okay, it's in. Now we'll get the driver's side in. These brackets right here is what holds everything on and in place. They go like that. You gotta line up the bolt holes where they need to go, and then start putting bolts in. So here we go. Okay, last night I done a boo-boo. I put the outer U-bolts on the axle before sticking these called T-studs, shaped just like a T. So you're not able to get those in with, I'll show you, with that U-bolt in, because it doesn't allow it to drop down far enough to slide in place. So I'm pulling this U-bolt off so I can get those done. Okay, I got the U-bolt off. Now you just slide these in. And before I get too ahead of myself, I better put lug studs in, so that way I don't get so far ahead and then have to take it all back apart, just put lug studs in. As you can see, I had to go grab the tire, one of the rims, because there's two different size bolt holes. This set here, I have a bigger bolt hole pattern than this one. I'm not sure which bolt hole pattern these rims take, so I brought a rim over so I can slide it on. Okay, I just took and put the rim up. I put a mark on each hole, which is the bigger set that takes these lug studs. They thread in, which is nice. I gotta get the axle shaft pulled out a little bit to where I can thread them in because it's hitting the axle housing, so I won't be able to thread in without chipping the paint or the powder coat, and we don't want that. These are some very long bolts. It's nice that they thread in, so that way if you ever had to change them, it's a quick thread out, but you have to tear the whole axle shaft apart to thread them out because they're so long. Okay, got them installed. Got all the T-bolts installed. Now the bracket, that side goes to the bearing, and you make sure that these 4 bolt holes, those 2 there and those 2 there, are pointing towards the back of the car because that's where the brake caliper will bolt onto that. I'll slowly, evenly work these in because as you can see, there's a small gap. And as you tighten these up slowly, it will, and evenly, it'll press that bearing in to where it's supposed to be seated. Crisscross patterns. Make sure you're doing it even. Now this one goes on just like that. The bolts go like that. They're loose, so I gotta tighten them up. But I want to show you guys how it's set up. If you guys ever install one of these, you'll know how to do it. We're going to get these CalTracs links put on, and they go from here to there. Tightened all the way down, and then that way I can hold this side and adjust and loosen it, and that way they're adjusted equally. So, okay, I got the CalTrac link installed, and what that does is when you have a lot of horsepower and torque, when you take off, this axle wants to roll like this, and the leaf springs will allow it. And it's, if I remember right, it's called axle ratcheting, and that down there prevents it from rolling, and it takes off a lot easier. It doesn't sit there and roll and hop and skip, and it just grabs and burns and goes. Got to get the brake rotor on. Okay, there's the rotor to put on. I like to spray some brake cleaner on it because there's a film of oil on there for shipping so they don't rust. Now, time to put the rotor on, or the caliper on. Well, bad news bears. I can't get that bottom bolt in or tight because the leaf spring's in the way. So, once again, I have to remove both U-bolts this time, pick up the axle, put that bolt in, tighten it down, bolt the U-bolts back down. So, I'm not going to take the bolts all the way off the U-bolts because I only need to loosen them to where I can lift it up high enough. Okay, I got the driver's side all done. Now I've got to go do the passenger side, and it's 7:12, and I'm trying to get it done before 8. That's my goal. I want Robbie to see it complete before he gets here at 8 o'clock. Rear axle, complete. All I have to do is just add fluid, and then I got to figure out the lug stud pitch and get some lug nuts for it, but it's complete. Oh, and of course we need brake lines. We need those bad. Okay, I got the tires on, and to me, looks like roller skate wheels. What do you guys think? Does it look like roller skate wheels? Look what I got. Lug nuts. So I'll get those put on. I'm not going to tighten them up completely because I don't know if the tires will be coming back off or not, but I'll just put them on there for now.
All right, so I just wanted to, so it's the next day and the boss is here. I just want to show her how precisely her tube work fits. Look at that. It's right into place.
Wow.
Be impressed. She's so impressed she can't show how impressed she is. In my brain, the welds were gonna look beautiful. We were gonna be able to leave this all exposed. That's just not the case. So we're gonna weld it out. Sean's gonna grind it. And we're gonna have it powder coated. So in 10 years, when I am proficient at TIG welding, we will leave exposed tubing with welds. But this looks like a bird went ahead and took a little dumple schmoochkin on it.
Did I do that?
We're gonna avoid everybody beating me up. And we're just gonna take it off, weld it, and then Sean's gonna make it look pretty. So anyway, but I mean, it's pretty cool. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna build a piece on the back. It's just like the front, so it V's in. It's gonna be super good. but it's just not good enough to show you guys in person. Sorry.
All right, so I got looking at this, and if this is truly mine, it needs a lot more paint. So I'm taking some parts off. What is this, intake?
Yep.
The intake and the valve covers and the turbos. And there's some other things in here. The valley cover. What is that, an oil pan?
Yeah, the oil pan.
They're all going to Kevin's. And they're gonna be pink. So I'm just gonna take this intake off, and then we're gonna have Steve take it up to Kevin's to get it all pink. Oh, and these turbo screens are not gonna look good purple with pink. So we're gonna see if Kevin can fix these too. Now I'm gonna take off the throttle cable. What did you say it was?
Yeah, it's just the throttle cable bracket.
The throttle cable bracket. I feel like Robbie's gonna be excited about all this pink. One last bolt.
There you go.
Got this. All right, now I'm just gonna take the bolts out for the turbo. They're all pretty loose because Sean had to do something. And then Colton's gonna tear them apart so we can get them powder coated.
Just like that.
That's it?
One down, one to go.
And it's off. What are all these little...
That's metal, so that's actually a good thing that we took these apart. Because all that, we need to get it cleaned. It's from the metal shavings from us cutting and everything. So it's actually a good thing that we took these apart.
So the turbos and this all need to be welded, and then they're getting sent too. It's gonna be nice.
So I'm building pipes to where we can mount a plate from one pipe to the other underneath to mount the shocks to. I got one, I just gotta get it all grinded up and looking good. Then I'll get it tacked in place where I want it and get the other one notched to get it tacked in place and make sure they're straight in line. And then I'll fully burn them in.
Okay, once again, Sean's doing what he does best. So he built a radiator shroud. Now he's going through and he's got to raise it up because the fan, if he just put that on now, the fan would hit the radiator. So he's going through and around and he's going to raise that up. We'll show you after it's done, but yo. And this is going to help with the cooling issues that they always have when you're doing a burnout. So this is going to keep all the cold air going through the whole radiator instead of just a certain area. Okay, we're getting so much stuff done on this car. I mean, we still got a lot to do, but it's coming together. But I gotta say, Sean, he didn't just step his game up on his work. He stepped it up even higher because he brought his friend out, Will. And he's from Virginia, so he flew out here and Sean put him to work. So he's been tackling all this, the battery box he's working on now, running all the wires. He got the ice box installed, the fuel tanks all installed. Did the vent. With the vent going down. He even bolted in the plate. We had it cut out, but he's like, that's the first thing he started on. He bolted that down, then he started doing everything else. So now he's just doing the battery box. He's got the switch. Yo, running cables. That helps us out a lot. Okay, so he tacked in this bar right here. Then he's gonna put a plate because the strut's gonna run from here up into that plate. That's how we're running the rear struts.
But check this out. Our friends over at Dixon Flannel sent us another FR Dixon. It's fire resistant. Okay. My other one was looking a little dirty. Look, the boss even has a blue one on.
It's cute, but it's cold.
It's cold, but look. Dixon fire resistant flannels, the best in the business. Not even sponsored. I mean, they did send them to us, but we're not paid to say that. We say that because we like them. Anyway, the boss is learning to TIG weld through her own lenses, watching me. Colton's a good helper. Right. And we're getting this all welded up so Sean can grind it, make it look pretty.
Over here, kind of chunk of metal so I don't have to take the whole sheet because I'm building shock brackets. They'll be shaped just like that, I hope. Well, wish me luck that it turns out looking like that.
You have to put 2 of those?
Yeah. It's not meant I was not made to do this kind of stuff.
It's fun.
I'm struggling with it.
I'm changing my mind. I think we're just gonna do these pink and the turbos leave them like they are. and can't believe I'm saying this, but if we have the turbos and this pink and everything else pink, there's gonna be too much pink.
I just want to point out that we really do have some first world problems over here, okay? We're deciding what color to go on our turbo skis. It's a real issue. But anyway, so we got us another grinder. We'll get it opened up.
That right there.
No, that one doesn't fit. So I need a cutoff wheel. So we're gonna open up one of our new ones. So thank you, Milwaukee. That's nice. I didn't realize a baggie and everything.
Got one side looking pretty good. Now I've got to do this side and here and here. Make it look good too. You want to do the other one for me?
No.
This was giving me a headache trying to figure out how to do it. I don't know how Sean does it every day, all day long. It looks okay-ish. It doesn't look as good as Sean could have done. Looks pretty good. Now to do another one.
Tell me that isn't beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Gotta cut a V out. Hey. All right, so I got the V cut out for the back of the pipe. Now this looks really gobby. It's 2.5 inch into 4 inch, but you know what? It's custom, and I built it. First thing I've ever built my whole life. It's cool. Anyway, I got 2 little welds to finish up, and then we're passing the torch to the master himself, Sean, to grind it up and make it look pretty. What are you working on?
Getting these brackets all cleaned up, getting all this coating stuff off of it, and then we're gonna sand it, make them look good, ready to paint. Trying to get this transmission in park so I can remove this tail shaft out of the transmission so Robbie can measure from the back of the transmission to that doohickey where the driveline hooks up, so that way Robbie can send it off to the driveline place and they can get a driveline built for us. Okay, I got to drill a hole right there in the center of both these brackets. I want to do that before I weld it so I'm not under there drilling up and having all the hot stuff fall on me. Bada bing, bada boom. One down, one to go.
All right, Sean did his magic. We're smoothed up. Now we're gonna go and figure out where we want our blow-off valves. We're having a disagreement. We don't know where to put the blow-off valves. We're either gonna put them right here, put them there, or we can put them there.
That looks cool right here.
Or we can put one there. I actually like those.
That looks cool that way.
Yeah, but those look cool. I like that. Yeah.
Well, that settles that. That was a mistake. But there we have it. We figured it out. We're gonna talk Sean into putting the blow-off valves right here, and he's gonna put them on perfect.
I like it right there.
There we have it, folks. So we'll get those mounted, and then we'll weld them on, and this tube will be done. This tube is complicated. What did you say?
You can't even tell that this was like all welded.
That's because Sean did it. Sean did it. Yeah, Sean just had to make it look pretty. Sean had to make magic. So somehow I need to do that, but I think what we should do is use the Amer braid. We'll put on a little tiny wheel so we can just chew it out. That's like really close. I love that Amer braid. All right, so I want to show you guys a cute little trick. It's called don't waste your time trying to fit up another one. Make a template. So I had Colt make a cute little template. Put it on this one. I'm gonna grind to the tape and boom, symmetry. Trick of the trades. Look at it. So now we have a mirrored image blow-off valve. Okay, now we got an upside. I put it upside, so it goes up like that. So let's match that. Oh, and it fits. Wouldn't you know? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our blow-off valves. We're gonna put them on, and then we're gonna make sure they look the same. I'll tack them. That's where I want it. So I'm gonna pull, I made some marks. I want it to come straight off. So we'll get that one marked. We'll get the degree. We'll transfer it over here. We'll have the same. I like it a lot. Sean had a good suggestion, like always. This will fit down inside. So I'm gonna weld this, kind of act as a guide to drill my holes. And then we'll take a rotor bit and we'll rotor it out then we won't mess up. So anyway, I'm gonna grab my welder, get this all set up, and go tigging.
Starting to burn. Can I go?
No.
I have to. Ow, it's hurting.
Let go.
Oh, I can't.
Let go.
Ah, I can't.
It's so hot it didn't tag. Jay, go get pliers.
I got him right here.
It's not grounding good.
It was burning so bad.
Can I let go? Can I let go? No! No, you can't. Good, right there. Don't move it. This is not working. Turn your pliers around. They say teamwork makes the dream work. Don't move. We're fine right there. So, this is the last time we're gonna pull this apart before we send it to get powder coated. V-bands are coming off, and that's that. Voila! It's off.
Shock brackets are welded in place, and I got the first shock installed, just tightening it up. I have to jack the suspension up because it's that full droop with the shock underneath there. It's allowing it to hyperextend.
I give up, so I'm gonna watch Sean weld. I'm gonna watch Sean fix. You know what? We're testing Sean. We're gonna see if Sean can fix my mess ups.
Okay, so I don't know if Demery told you or not, she decided not to powder coat the turbo. So I'm gonna put these little clamps back on, just so we don't lose them.
Work on front suspension now. Moving right along. Got the A-arm installed, upper A-arm installed.
Better not scratch those. You know you got Demery right there watching you.
Close your eyes, Demery.
He just said that this pink is growing on him.
I did not say that.
Oh, I heard it.
He did say it.
Pictures are pictures where it didn't happen.
Don't lie. Is it growing on you?
These bolts are they're not even close to getting tight yet.
Changing the subject.
I'm putting the spindle on so I can get the shock installed. And then once I get the shock installed, I'll hook the upper one up, just like that. And then I'll go through and tighten everything up.
Here you go, sir.
Are these Alden? Alden Americans? I didn't know he was putting these on there.
Yeah. One of the best.
Very, very nice shocks. Okay, I'm gonna put the spindle on lower, hook the shock up, and then I have to go grab the little 1/4 ton or 1/2 ton chain along and chain along it up. I'll grab a soft strap to go around the freshly powder coated lower, and I'll go right up to the top fender bar. Robbie's most favorite part of doing all this, playing with grease. I get to pack bearings for the side. We're doing one side at a time. He's well packed.
We're sending Steve on his late night delivery to Kevin up at Powder Stream Coatings. When this stuff comes back, it's coming back pink. Check it out. We got our, Demery says that this reminds her of an octopus. You're never gonna unsee it.
It's like Squidward too.
It's Squidward. And that's a box of broken aluminum parts. So anyway, we're gonna gently put Squidward away along with everything else I dropped, and it's all gonna go get powder coated. All right, so all day I've been fretting, and look what happened at the end of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give those a 3 out of 10. Anyway, too bad they're the bottom. They don't look as good as, the top doesn't look as good as the bottom. But anyway, the V-band is welded on the 105mm throttle body. So anyway, getting tons done. I'm going to a dance with my daughter, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Once again, I came in earlier so I can get the front of the suspension all done so I can put the car on its own wheels, get it off these jack stands. I got the driver's side front suspension all done, and then I went home thinking I had to come in extremely early to do it so I could get the driver's side all complete and tires on it, but I get here and they already had it done. All I have to do is just put the spindle on and then lower it down, or put the spindle on, then put tires on, and then lower it down and put it on its own wheels. So we're moving along pretty quick. So I'm just threading the ball joint in because these are thread in style. So I'll get that threaded in. It's time to put tires on. Done. I can put the car on its own wheels. So I'm wearing it the jack. Now let it down very slowly. That's its high. Very high on the back. Uh-oh. Springs didn't collapse much, and we wanted them to.
It is the next day, but we are getting the bulkhead all situated. Hillbilly's got the suspension in it. We got the wheels and tires on it. We're figuring out where the coils go. We've just got lots of stuff going on. So I'm laying out my bulkhead for the fuel line feed, the fuel line return, the water feed, and the water return for the intercooler. So I just got all my fittings that we're gonna want. We're laying this out, and then Sean's gonna template it out for me, and I'm gonna cut out a cool little design on the plasma table. I'm thinking on the back side, Sean, of the bulkheads, we probably just want to, well, we'll see if we need to 45 them or 90 them all down. Because if it's high enough, we can 90 them and then just take the hose. Oh, yeah.
Why
Will.
Will's doing what Will's doing? Robbie's doing fuel line stuff. I'm gonna be doing brake.
I'm not doing anything. I'm actually sitting here watching him talk. Don't lie to him.
Okay, he's sitting there watching me talk. But I'm gonna be working on getting the master cylinder installed so we can start doing brake lines and all that fun stuff.
Oh. Yeah, to all you people that think that Bommy lives outside, this cat is our supervisor.
Yes, he is.
You are the supervisor. Oh, Lord. I went ahead and found my coil pack wiring harness. So you got evens and odds, and you've got to make sure that your even and odds are correct, because if you guys remember, back when we were at Summit Racing, it was late. I didn't even think about it, and we put the harnesses on backwards on the 57 Chevy, and we could not get that motor to start. So now we're making sure we're all correct. We'll do some wire management. We'll get these puppies all tied up real nice like. I know what you're thinking. How are we gonna get that wiring from there to the harness? Let me remember where I put the extensions and I'll show you them. So checkity check it. ICT builds a coil relocation harness and the coil relocation brackets. So we get that much extra harness. So all we gotta do, flippy-doo-dah-day these in. And then now we've got extenders that can go back through the firewall, and those will go to the master harness. So that takes care of that. Now I know what you're thinking. How are you gonna get spark from inside the car all the way to the motor? So have no fear, for ICT Billet makes the longest coil wires known to man. So we can plug them in and we can custom build lengths that we need. So basically what the plan is gonna be is we're gonna have 2 holes on each side. We're gonna come off of the coil packs and we're gonna go through the firewall in a loom like that. And these are gonna go underneath the headers and they're gonna terminate the block perfectly to where we have no issues. I'm just gonna set these out so I can lose them later. Before the internet trolls beat me up and say I'm gonna keep this together, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a zip tie and then we'll individually put zip ties. So we'll do a zip tie around and then little zip ties in between that'll keep the spacing. That way we won't have any spark interference. And if we do have spark interference, we'll figure something else out. So this will get zip tied, wire managed together.
That honestly is race car, burnout car status.
Yes. Now keep in mind, I've had to build this car in my head like every single night for the last 2 months. So I've been trying to do all this stuff in my head. When we go to events, I try to take note of what other people are doing, other people that are smarter than me, because I'm not that smart. I'm learning as you're learning. Now that I've made a really big mess, Will can get in here and do what he needs to do. I like to make messes and then leave.
All right, let's see what Will's up to. He's just been slaying away on this wiring. He's got the battery all hooked up. He's running the cables up through. He's running the main power wire. He's running that up. He's grounding the motor.
We'll weld a stud on the frame there and bolt that up. Got the main cable for the starter done. We got to figure out where we're going to mount this for sure.
I think we're going underneath.
Underneath there?
Yep.
Okay. So
But,
I kind of need to know a location for length. Once we know that,
change, but as far as right now, I think that's where we're going.
yep, once we know that, we can get that harness done. It's all coming together.
Heck yeah. How's your project going on?
Good. I'm just trying to figure out how long I want the rod to be. Sean, how long do you think I should have it?
Supposed to be 7.5 inches off the ground.
So right there.
5 inches.
Right, and then it should be like 7. And then so right there.
Learn something new every day. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what most cars are.
So that's where I'm going to measure off
Of
of.
push right here. It's at the ball, like where your toes attach. Otherwise, it feels funny when you push.
That's like the most
Yeah, I think that's the
durable where you're,
strongest,
like you're pushing.
Yep, gotta cut that to 3 inch from the center of this hole back, which I'll cut it probably a 1/16 inch longer, so that way I can stick it inside there and then weld this to that, so we have a way to attach it to that. Okay, I got it marked where I want it. Now cut it. Gotta make that hole.
Did you tap that?
So I was thinking thread this on there and then tack welding it so it doesn't move right here.
Yeah.
It moves on the shaft. Trying to make sure this stays straight. And I don't think I'm doing a very good job at keeping it straight.
Now, Sean, what's the secret?
You know, what's the secret to keeping it straight?
Don't cross-thread it.
If I cross thread it, then we don't have to tack weld it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Look at that.
So Robbie's gonna cut that out.
Somehow it bent. I'm blaming it on Sean.
No, that was hillbilly strength.
Yeah. We all know the hillbilly strength. Just keep screwing it on until it straightens itself out.
Straight-ish. Okay, I got the brake pedal rod thing extender built in place. So now I'm just going to tighten up the master cylinder. And I got that brake pedal extender piece that I built to the right length. 5.5, the back of the pedal is 5.5 inches off the firewall. And the center of the pedal to the floor is 7.5. So Sean says that's what they're usually running at on a normal car. So we're going to do it as a normal car. If it needs to be adjusted, it's not hard to adjust.
I gotta go tell Robbie we got intruders. Robbie, what? We got intruders. No. Nobody intrudes. Oh,
Holy moly!
told you. What's he doing here?
I don't know.
Why is he here?
They just showed up and they own the place.
Do we have wiring that needs done?
I think so.
No, don't let the internet know that Chad's here to wire this car. I'm the wirer.
No, you've been relieved. You go home and shower.
All right, I'll go home. Actually, I don't start work till 10 a.m. It's 9:35, so I'm off the clock.
Perfect.
Sweet. So,
Good deal.
just kidding. We got Chad here. He's going to help us get ahead because we have like
4 days.
4 days. Yeah. So,
count.
anyway, we got all hands on deck. But what do you think so far? It's awesome. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good-looking car for a pacer anyway.
Yeah, for a pacer.
Yeah, at least
That's
you
fine.
found a clean one.
Yeah, she found it.
Really?
Yeah, she found it on Marketplace. So Sean's got my bulkhead design, and I'm going to transfer it into the computer and get it all cut out. It's going to look so awesome. So we're going to do it at a 1/4 inch aluminum plate. Then we're going to do a 1/4 inch bevel on all the edges. Countersink the holes. This car is going to have SEMA features because guess what? It's going to go to SEMA. You just wait.
What?
I promise you. Don't tell anybody.
All of this is like a chaotic, organized mess. We have Will back here working on the car. Hillbilly's gone to Napa. There's there's Robbie. Chad. And Ian over there.
We're just laying stuff out and getting ideas on what we're gonna do. So we've got all our electrical stuff over here because we have the master in the house. Chad.
Let's see what Sean's doing. I don't know where he is, but he's probably busy working away.
I don't know why I'm getting pure enjoyment out of going through every one of the boxes, finding wiring. It literally is like I'm going through summit racing in real life. I mean, throttle cable, throttle bracket, spring return, spring bracket, just everything. And can we take a minute to appreciate, this is just stuff that I've pulled out or added, but look at how nice. All you gotta do is flip through, find the size, pull it out. Oh, that's where it's at. Because the boss organized for me and my brain is adjusting to it and I love it.
So they decided to mount the computer in the S-Pod right here. But look, the hole. You know, obviously we put in an order for Sean and he just whipped it out like it was nothing.
Sure, no big deal.
Yep, I think that'd be great sideways.
Okay, I'll get her car.
Perfect. Cool, so he's getting the fuel pump assembly installed. Me and Colton are working on the vent tubes. So we've got them laid out over here. I'm kind of using 2 different sets. So I've got my Holley stainless steel line that's gonna go on top of the valley pan. And then I'm gonna use my Trick Flow. And I'm gonna take the Trick Flow kit and we're gonna come off of here. I'm going to drill and tap my water pump housing and take our steam ports right into there. But this came with a bunch of extra fittings, so yeah, I like fittings. Really, really like fittings.
Even the not right
like-
size of fitting.
Yeah, I like buying not correct size fittings because then we have tons of fittings and then our parts store looks bigger. Look at that. It'll go right on. I'll be able to take that. See, this kit comes with a steel line that just comes out and then you just put a hose and clamp it. Well, nobody likes that. So this is going to have actual PTFE that's going to come here, go right into the water pump, either with a 90 or a straight.
To ultimately be the best harness like we love to do, you got it under the like on the dash. So rather than running it through and have the extension harness be able to go right there, and well, but it's like you got the map sensor
So
with
this-
the.
Yep. So we can take
So
that
we'll have
out.
to leave that because the map sensor still got to go to the engine bay, and then there's like we got to change knock sensors and all those. Poly harnesses are great, but they're universal, which means they fit everything, but they also fit nothing.
That's perfect.
So we're making it to where it fits a pacer with
1976 AMC Pacer with 1,000 horsepower, 6 OLS.
There we go. Exactly.
it.
It's going to fit that.
Yeah. Okay. That's why we called Chad. Okay. For all you internet trolls out there, you got your wish. So now what I got to do is I got to kind of mock up where my steam port lines are going to run. So I'm going to have Colton go grab me an Allen wrench. We're going to get these kind of in position. And then what I want to do is I want to figure out my tap here and my length of line there. So basically, we'll have everything fit for when the rail motor gets here, which is going to be very, very soon. We can just take everything, disassemble it, and then rail mount it. It's just going to be that easy. As soon as I get this marked and my line length, we can pull this off, we'll drill it, tap it. So we're sitting here fighting the intake. Let's just hurry and undo those two nuts up front. Okay. Let's pull that intake off as a whole. And then we can get our steam ports on. We can work with the water pump, all that good stuff. And actually, let me see. We might, oh no, we'll want to pull it off so we can get all the shavings out. I was going to say we might be able to vacuum that, but
So you need to
portion's
mark this
sealed.
first.
Yep.
Then we'll pull it on. Okay.
I'm gonna pull that throttle cable through.
There it goes.
So heavy that,
Yeah.
it's just... This is the first time I've ever done steam vent lines like this, so I didn't realize you got a long and a short. I would probably say somewhere in this area, put the switch, and then that way all we got to do with the S-Pod is just that Cat 5 cable. And then we can build a bracket that the S-Pod mounts to.
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll just have the switch panel. And Kyle's Hilux, he's got his switch panel up here.
Yeah.
So he's got an on-off switch down there, and then all his switches are up here. You like my super long 5-foot
Yep.
build your own wires?
Yep, that's what you're gonna need.
Cool.
Yeah. Now you need a great big huge grommet to run all that stuff through.
Well, don't worry. I'm gonna go build the.
You're gonna need probably two of them, one for your plug wires and one for the.
So I'm gonna build one bulkhead right now for the water and the fuel,
Okay.
and then we'll figure out where you want the. We'll put that in, and then we'll figure out the wiring.
Because the wires and the spark plug wires and my wiring need to go through two different holes.
3.
Yeah, or
Potentially
3. Yeah, I just don't want those running right next to my harness.
Nope.
So.
And we want these running over here and those running over there
Okay.
because they're gonna go under the headers.
Perfect.
What are you doing?
Building a throttle bracket.
For my car?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's cut out. Now he's got to punch holes with the center punch and then drill 'em.
How did you
And
cut that out?
with the grinder.
Wow.
Yeah. Getting pretty good with the grinder now. Still need more practice, but I'm getting better than what I was before I started. I'm doing this custom stuff.
Is that like going out?
Yeah. And then this will hook onto there. That. Then you'll have
I'm gonna go ahead and do what I was supposed to do hours ago. I am building a bulkhead mounting plate for Firewall.
Is this your template?
Yes, that is me template.
What are you doing?
modifying just a wee bit.
Is that safe?
what is there that I do that's not safe is the question.
I couldn't even think of anything.
Because I'm always safe.
Yeah.
Dang, oh dang.
Coil packs are mounted, and that's gonna look sick.
Yes, it is. Looks like a professional did it. Computers mounted.
Computers mounted, whatever that is. S-Pod.
S-Pod, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to decide the throw on the throttle pedal, which the throw is how far it goes from 0 to wide open for the pedal. The only thing I can think of is I took a piece of wire, went flush with right here, and I got a mark where it's flush right there, then wide open throttle, and put another mark in there
That's how much you lose.
for wide open throttle. And so our end result is that's how far the cable's gonna move. So that's how far I have to have that pedal come out, which is 1.25 inches.
2 1/4.
Or 2.25. Right here has to move from closed throttle to wide open. We're gonna get this done. If it works or not, I'm not sure, so I'm not cutting the cable. This is just to measure to make sure I have enough movement on the between all the floor and the panel and this bracket that I built. Just make sure all that moves that far, and then Robbie can adjust the cable and cut it to where it needs to be.
So that's right.
That's wide open throttle. There's closed throttle, wide open.
1 7/8.
So we're just barely shy, so I just gotta adjust that just a hair.
Yep.
I'll go maybe I'll go two teeth on the shaft here, and I'll show you why I said 2 teeth here in a second. There's little teeth on splines on here and little splines in there.
So it's adjustable.
So it's adjustable throttle. I put a mark right where it was at. So now I'm gonna raise this up 2 teeth. So well, maybe 1 tooth might be enough. Oh yeah, 1's gonna be plenty. I might end up just having to shave this out, because that's picking that throttle almost straight out. I guess it doesn't look bad. I don't like it, so I'm gonna fix that. So I adjusted it 1 tooth, and 1 tooth made this pedal sit like right here. So instead of adjusting this, I put it back where I had it. I'm just gonna trim this out. And I'm thinking trimming that out, that should give us enough clearance to where we go even past the 2.5 or 2.25 that we need. And then we can build a throttle stop after we get our full distance. So we're gonna go shave this out and be right back.
Oh, you're gonna go that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can go that way if you want. Yeah, that'll probably be better because then.
What are these two for?
Fuel.
Oh, if you could go higher and we could go lower, that would be.
So then Sean, could you help me figure this out?
the height.
We got to be below this.
Okay, you pick that one.
So.
Oh, have you thought about where these spark plug wires are gonna go through?
They're gonna be off to the side.
Okay.
Because we're gonna shoot them each side.
Okay, like right there. Okay.
8 inches out. Right there.
As much on my fingers. Thanks, bro. I'm never gonna wash my hand again.
Can you do that to me? Just kidding.
Can you sign my hand too?
Sean's drawing on
I
people.
kept bumping his finger with the marker, so I just went right across his hand.
So we decide where we're gonna put the wires through.
Just gonna make a center hole here.
Just below the bulkhead plate that we're putting in, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he got a center line. It's that one right there, not that one, it's that one. So he's gonna shoot a little pilot hole through there, and then he's gonna go around to the back side of the firewall and drill a hole through this way.
Yeesh. I don't like the angle. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go from the inside.
Good call. That's money, dude. Show us that cowboy look, hillbilly. Oh, heck yeah.
So now that we've got the coil packs mounted inside where we can start a really nice fire behind the windshield, we're gonna run our wires from our fire starters into the engine bay. So me and Will have determined that it's most likely gonna take 45-degree boots. So you can check that out, figure out where to make his holes, and then he's gonna make the holes in Sean's beautiful piece of work, Firewall.
Hey, at least if there is an engine fire, coils won't get burnt.
That's right, coils will be safe.
Yeah.
See, look at the positive.
Yes. That'll be the first hole for the passenger side.
All 4 will come through the same hole.
Heck yeah.
Then we'll do the other side. I'm gonna put 90s
On that side.
because these plugs are pointing
They'll go
forward.
straight and
That might not work. Because it's way below throttle. That's not gonna work. That's right in the pedal. studs for the pedal are like right here. These are for the steering column.
Oh, okay.
So we got to do something.
We get a kind of an idea. I was wondering when we pull this motor.
Oh, I mean, I can drill it from the inside.
That's true, too.
Yeah. I mean, that side's going to be awesome. This side, we got to work around the steering column, the throttle pedal, and the throttle cable.
Finally, cutting. All right, so I purposefully cut the holes on the inside. These are just a marking. We'll go and actually drill them out so that they're perfect. But yeah, look at that. It took me a long time to design, but I got it. All I'm doing is cleaning these out. The plasma pretty well did what I needed it to do. This is just to get those holes perfect. Drilling a hole is fancy. All right, my job here is done. There's not two of them. I didn't screw up, but Sean's gonna bevel this. So he's gonna learn me how to do it, and then we'll get the fittings on and we'll get this on the firewall. So I did 3/4 of an inch.
Oh, we got plenty.
Bevel. Yeah.
Plenty.
So I mean, obviously using this as a guide, but I don't know what you're gonna do next. But I'm about to find out. We open. I legit thought you were gonna use like a router or something.
No, it's pretty grinding.
Yeah, just by hand. No biggie. You just need 30 years to be able to do that.
It's not that hard.
So while they're worrying about the important stuff, such as but not limited to wiring, all I care about is whether this turbo is going to get fed with oil. So that's a lot of oil line.
Did we not have our black ones of these? Or they
Oh, we do, but they're too short. So that's what I'm trying to see. I could use these and then just get one extra, get another oil line. That's what I'm trying to determine.
Just do a T.
Yeah, well, I've got to do a T no matter what. But I bought these 4-footers. So we're going to get this figured out, and then I'll probably have to order one more oil line, which is fine because I got to put it in another order with Summit anyways. We'll just overnight it.
And just like that, Sean's done it again. They're going to start getting sick of Sean's done it again. But he has.
All right, so I think I finally got my oil feed routing figured out. So we're going to use this. It's going to feed right there. Boom, bada boom. And then we're going to come down here and feed off of the oil feed down here. So I'm going to have Colton, he's going to have to shut the camera off because he's got to come hold some lines right here while I measure. And then we're having our buddy Scott Stapley up at the hosers hurry and build us a line. Steve's up there. He's going to grab it tonight. We're going to have one more thing finished. Then we just have 10,000 more to do.
What are you two fine gentlemen doing over here?
I'm trying to get a stud tightened in a small space.
And I got my stud tightened.
We're assembling the intake off the ground,
Could
or
you
off the vehicle.
Could you take the intercooler off to tighten him down?
Yeah.
I got mine in too deep, actually.
Thinking the final installation of building the intake, so that way when the motor gets here, all we have to do is just bolt this down and be done. Got the injectors put in, fuel rails
Was that
tightened
just
down.
the rubber O-ring that is in there?
Mm-hmm. Injectors put in, fuel rails tightened down. That one's a build drone. We have to super glue it. It's coming along really nice.
So we are building our intercooler water lines at a dash 16 line. And if this is anything like the dash 20, this is going to be miserable. So we're trying to figure out our routing, and we only have 2 lengths of hose. So we've got to make sure that we get it routed and don't run out of hose because it's Friday night. And we've already put in like 3 orders today with Summit. So anything we need today is now going to be Tuesday. All right, that was much, much easier than a dash 20. But we ruined that non-marring thingy. So that's cool. So let's feed this.
You want the wrench?
I'm just trying to, I just got to pull and then I could probably use the wrench now. Okay. We're just making sure, so we've got a little bit of pressure on this hose. We're just making sure that it doesn't kink. All right, now for the real trick Ricky, we're gonna see if we got enough hose.
We got too much. Way too much.
Well, lucky for us. So let's make a mark on that one.
Okay. I
Okay,
mean,
let's tape it to that fitting.
oh, and we got a fitting coming off of here. You level 45 down, so we only need like this much.
Well, time out. We got to use out of this one. We might have to go to that fitting. So let's tape to
Okay.
that one,
Okay.
and then we'll see if we can get to that one. Okay.
Oh, okay. For fittings.
Yeah. See, then we got enough for that.
Okay. Tons.
Yep. So we're just fine.
5 inches there.
Yep. So we'll cut this one. This one will be for the short from pump to.
That's good. Then it won't ever lose prime because it's just that short.
Yep. So, all right. Now for the real tricky Ricky part. Let's take the other hose. Let's put a 45 on it, and we'll shoot
From there.
Or do we need it? Oh, we need to 90 it. We'll put it back seat in this. So if we 45 it. All right, so our return line from the intercooler to the bulkhead built. This is Earl Performance from Holly. Got a straight. I love that blue and red. We got a black. It's mismatched, but I like it. So anyway, we're becoming hose masters. As you can see, we're pretty much the best in the game. I got 2 more to build, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and take the night off. I've got a fitting that I'm dropping. I've got 1 more end to put on this little baby hose. This goes from the water pump, the auxiliary water pump, to the auxiliary water tank. So I'll get this 90 on it, and then we're gonna put it on and fit it, get it to length, cut it, figure out what fitting we're gonna put on the other end, put it back in the vise, finish it, and that's gonna be it for tonight because yeah, Chad's over there just jabbing his jaws. Okay, you just go back to wiring. Okay,
I don't want to.
the internet says you have to.
I think
So.
there's a truck right there that says we could leave.
That's really mean. I don't like talking to them anymore. So we've been working all day long. Make sure if you guys want to check out our wiring dilemma, head over to Chad's Fab. Check out the rebuilding of our brand new universal harness that Chad's doing. He's doing a dang good job, but we didn't film a whole lot of it. So you guys gotta go over there, give them some support, check it out. Links in the description. To be honest, this 45 will work pretty good. Put a little bit of a S-turb in that, middle of the tape, and that will be good. All right, so we've got the Dash 16 hoses ran. This thing is coming together. We're down to the wire, but I have a little 5-year-old that's gonna be real mad if I don't go home. So I'm gonna go home. All right, so we got a ton done. We have a ton we didn't do. Chad and the crew crushing it. We're getting all the wiring taken care of, so make sure you guys head over to Chad's Fab, check out the video on the wiring, but it's late, so as always, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.